Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Radha Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Whatever
brings
you holiday to
Hare Hare,
stop it.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
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 Rama
Hare,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Rama
Krishna, Krishna
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Rama
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Rama
Ram
Rama
Ram, Hare Hare,
Rama Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama
Krishna, Krishna,
Rama
Hare Hare,
Rama Hare
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 Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Rama
Ram
Rama
Ram, Hare Hare,
Rama Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Rama
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama
Ram
Rama
Ram, Hare Hare,
Rama Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Rama
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Rama Hare
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 Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama
Ram Ram,
Rama
Hare Hare,
Rama Hare
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 Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Rama
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama
Ram Ram,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna, Krishna
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Rama
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama
Hare Ram,
Rama
Ram Ram,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama Hare
Hare Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna, Krishna
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama
Ram
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna Krishna,
Rama
Hare Hare,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Rama
Hare, Hare
Rama
Ram, Hare
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Rama
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Rama
Hare,
Hare Rama
Hare
Rama
Ram, Hare
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare
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 Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Rama
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Rama
Ram
Rama
Ram, Hare Hare,
Rama Hare
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 Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare,
Ram Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare.
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Chant and be happy.
Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and welcome to the Wednesday night Chaitanya Charitamrita reading and discussion from Prabhupada's original approved version of Chaitanya Charitamrita, and this is what we stress in our group. Yes, we stress hearing from Prabhupada's approved scriptures, which are filled with the vitality of transcendental Shakti or potency. It's a very important part of our work and our service. Actually, I speak to our friends and in our group, all the people that are friendly with us. Some people are our enemies. Not now, because we don't talk to them. What's the point? What are you trying to do? Make friends with enemies? I guess there's a psychology to it, isn't it? In a certain way. But the real value of devotees is association with the same common denominator of understanding that Krishna is present in his holy name, and Prabhupada is present, living with us in his Vani incarnation. And that's a common denominator. That's pretty much common sense. It's like people, they may criticize us. Okay, that's all right. But what happens when that goes on? For example, Mother Rachisha, I give the example of somebody that comes up. If you're a musician, they come up and say, oh, by the way, I don't like your music. Okay. Thank you. Okay. But is he your friend? No. Do you have a good impression of him? No. Why? It's like someone going up to your baby. You have a child and you go, your baby's ugly. Oh, okay. Guess what? That mother will never talk to you for the rest of your life. She may smile, she may be polite, but it doesn't work that way. You have to use sweet words when dealing with each other and be respectful. Well, someone would say, well, that's not the way Prabhupada dealt with things. First of all, you don't know how Prabhupada dealt with things, my friend. You only can speculate on it because you never associated with him. You were never in a room with him. You never heard him speak. He never brought you into confidence. That's a big difference. Now, some of us have been blessed with confidential service with Srila Prabhupada. I tell a story, and this was quite shocking to me. I mentioned this to Yashoda today at a pleasant, friendly conversation with one of my best friends, absolutely. Because we see things the same way. We're common denominator people. A half plus a half is equal to one. I said, remember Yashoda, we were in Mayapur. Now, we were in Mayapur. Now, the Mayapur gates were there. There was the wall at the back. You had to be there. The Shinai player used to sit up in the top of the tower there and play the Shinai in the morning. It was magic to hear it. It shocked me because it reminded me of John Coltrane, one of the most famous jazz musicians of all time. And he played a certain type of saxophone. And this particular Shinai sounded like it. I was captivated. I thought, man, this is so transcendental. Anyway, the gateway was there. And Prabhupada was out. He would go out in the field and walk around. Sometimes he'd go out to the gate and go right, Yashoda, he'd make a left and then go around and go into the field and then come back in through the back of the building and then come up to the front like that. So he had different ways that he would go. I guess it depended on his preference. So anyway, he came in through the front gate with his entourage. And I had arrived in Mayapur the day before. So I was still somewhat sort of confused because of jet lag. As you know, flying from Canada to India was quite hard on the body. You know, you didn't know if it was day or night or day. But I was there anyway. And I took my place. Now, what it was you had the gate. Okay, so you come in through the gate and you walk up, and there was a path. Now, there was only one building then, that first building that they had. And so we were all lined up on each side of the pathway. And I took my place in line with everybody else. I was just another devotee kind of thing. Okay, fair enough. Well, I was standing there, you know, and I thought, geez, this is great. I'm right here. Prabhupada's going to walk right in front of me. And I was, you know, because when Prabhupada walked in, it was, for all of us, we were so overwhelmed with sort of transcendental reverence. Hey, Mother Chisha, it was, you just couldn't help it because you realized, here's the person that presented the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Prabhupada was not an ordinary person, and we appreciated that. He walked by me. I recalled this with Yashoda today. I said, he walked by me, and I paid my obeisance as I got up, and I'm standing there. And just, you know how the staircase is, Rochisha, going up to the first level of that building, the first building, you know, that building there? All of a sudden, he got to the base of the staircase and he stopped. I was like, oh. And he turned around and walked back to me. I was like, whoa, what is this? I was shaking in my sandals. So shaking, I thought, oh, did I do something wrong? And he walked right up to me. I was like, is this a mistake? And he spoke to me. He looked at me, he said, Prabhu, could you please come up to my quarters tonight and see me? I was like, my answer was, yes, Prabhupada. Can you imagine how I felt that day? I had a date that night in Prabhupada's quarters, private quarters. I thought, wow, this is some kind of a special mercy on me. Mr. Nobody from Hamilton. Anyway, Prabhupada had me come up to his quarters. And during the day, I was thinking, well, how do I prepare? How do I, you know, I took a bath and at the Ganges River and got my tilak and my head shaved and got all prepared to go see Prabhupada in his room. Oh my God. I was so bewildered. Like, what am I going to say? And when I got to the room, Prabhupada had me sit down, and it was him and Krishna Das Babaji was in the room. And he was a godbrother. He was from the Gaudiya Math, and one of the leading kirtan singers in the Gaudiya Math, amazing musician. And I knew him actually because we had met him the year before traveling up the Ganges River in those boats to Sridhar Swami's ashram. We got a permission to go there. And we got there and he was chanting for us. And so we made friends with him. And even though we didn't speak the language, we were still friends. And he was a wonderful person. And he was in the room with Prabhupada. Prabhupada started to interview me. He wanted to know how we bought the Toronto temple. He wanted to know all the details. And if you heard one of the lectures that he he recalled the story in a class. He said, oh, they wanted to burn, they'd rather burn the temple down than sell it to A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. I told him that. I told him how I shocked the owners. I said, they never knew that we were devotees because they refused to sell to the Hare Krishna movement. When Prabhupada first went there the year before, they said, no, we wouldn't sell it to him. But we tricked them, transcendental trickery. I explained Prabhupada how we did it. I wore this Jimi Hendrix Krishna Katha wig when I met the priest. That's the only wig I had. It was a Jimi Hendrix wig. You know, one of those big hair things. And what I did, I told Prabhupada this. I said, Prabhupada, when we finally closed the deal and showed up at the building to get the keys, when you're in real estate, the big thing is getting the keys, right? You get them from the lawyer or you could get them from, because you close the deal, then it's your property. But they still let you in the building, the priest did. And when I walked up to the building and the guy saw me without my Jimi Hendrix hairdo on, I had my head shaved, I thought, I'm going to shock this guy. I'm going to show him. You want to play games with us, we'll show you a little transcendental trickery. We tricked him and he sold it to us. And when he saw me, he sat down and put his hands on his head in complete despair. And I told Prabhupada, we had a grand laugh at the whole thing. Oh yeah, it was quite an amazing experience. But Prabhupada so much enjoyed our work, and this way he blessed us with this mercy of association with the pure devotee, and this is mercy. And with our program here, we try to share some of these pastimes. I know people try to say, well, you've told that before. Can you make up another one? No, excuse me, buddy. We don't concoct, we don't manufacture, we can only tell the truth. And the truth is that Prabhupada took recognition and recognized devotees that did something for him to spread Lord Chaitanya's movement. And that's what we want to inspire everyone to do, is figure out how you can get the interest of your spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, and how you can get the interest of Krishna through your service. You have to do something. It's not automatic. There's an effort. You have to make an effort. And Ram Raghava, can you just go see the President of the United States? Can you call him up and, pardon?
No, sir.
No, I'm going to go. Yeah, he said he's a military man too. No, sir. But the point is this, you can't get in. You have to do something. You have to qualify yourself in order to get an opportunity to associate with a pure devotee, because a pure devotee of Krishna is the most rare individual in the entire universe. If you think it isn't, you have to start at the beginning on chanting, okay? Read that, and then keep reading. And then after you read that, read the Delhi Bhagavatams, do that. Then after that, read the Blue Gita, Macmillan one. Then you read the full edition, and then keep reading and studying, and maybe you'll figure out in due course of time who Prabhupada is. It's not us. We're not significant. We're insignificant people. We are. Like I always say to my friends, and I call all of you that are my friends, and you're the most cherished persons for me, my friends. I really never had a family. I was adopted out of a nunnery. I still remember being in that nunnery, and then coming out. And then even my adopted mother, died when I was 20 years old. So that was really fast. That came and went. So the whole thing was I just found out recently that I have like 5 brothers and sisters. After 70 years, I find out I have brothers and sisters. All along my whole life, I thought I was just a lone wolf. I embraced the Krishna movement because it was a family back then. We were friends. That's why I get disappointed when I call our God brothers and sisters and they won't answer me. I spent years doing service with them. You call them up, they're like, who? Who are you? Vishva? VK? Is that you? No, goodbye. They're not interested. You know, we embrace people that are friendly with us. We're friends. I tell my friend Yashoda, I said, a lot of Karmi people that I know that I'm preaching to, I like them better than a lot of these devotees because these people that were in ISKCON are so contaminated, so confused, so bewildered by everything that goes on. And there's another thing that's wrong with them. They get a little bit of knowledge and they think they're some kind of genius. The only way you're going to be able to get an advancement in this world of spiritual life is to be a selfless surrender servant, humble and respectful to all. And when you demonstrate that, then everybody embraces it. So I'm going to get off this topic. I have this little monologue. The one thing I wanted to say was we apologize. I was an hour early for class, Rotisha Devi Das, because I could not figure out daylight savings times here. I had to send messages to everybody. What time is the class? I was here at 7 and it wouldn't work. I thought, oh God, it's not working. I don't know what to do. I sent a message to Rupa Goswami, to Ram Raghava, to ask him, what time is the class? Because I didn't want to miss. This is our duty. But at any rate, it's daylight. We're going to play the Prabhupada's Shotram that Yashodanandana Prabhu chanted for us before we begin further the program. Please put that on, Prabhu.
Srila Prabhupada Stotram. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharine Krishna Kacheta Madamoha Vinachakarin Madrishti Gochara Prabhupada Swamin Dosha Vivritti Paridushita Manda Buddhe Tanchintayami Charano Tava Bhakti Etu Vrindavane Ramanareti Prasiddha Bhumau Tatrapi Krishna Balarama Supada Mule Jnanam param parama Krishna sudharma ityuktam Dantastu deva Prabhupada namo namaste 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 kripa purna drishti Namaste namaste mahananda dhatri Namamu namama punaraksha raksha Prasiddha Prabhupahimam daksha daksha Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhakti Vedanta Namine Prasannaya Prashantaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Vanga Bhumijana Bhushana Ghora Leela Ghoranga Bhava Parisharana Matra Shila Radha Mukunda Pada Padma Manovilasin Anandarasi Prabhupada Namo Namaste Anandarasi Prabhupada Namo Namaste Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Haribo. We're going to move forward with our next section, which is the reading from the Krishna book. That's the particular scripture we're referring to right now. And I had a very interesting experience reading it, because we're reading about the deliverance of Pundraka and the king of Kazi. Actually, I've been moving along, Rochisha. I've already I read Dvidvida Gorilla, and I'm on to Marriage of Samba, but I went back because this had a striking, message for us. Prabhupada is writing this prose version of the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's much different than the verses and the purports sections that he did up to the... Now, remember, the reason he wrote this Krishna book was in 72 or 71 was because he wanted to make sure that he had the 10th canto complete in case something happened to him. So he wrote this in a very beautiful format. It's very gorgeous. And it gives us a different insight into the personality of Godhead, how God is, and it's the highest form of explanation of Shastra that exists. There's nothing more miraculous than this. So I'm going to read from it, this particular section, and all of you can draw the parallels here between people that are impersonating gurus and impersonating God in this particular story. A small section. And by the way, you can go ahead and read it on your own. You won't be disappointed. The messenger carried the words of Lord Krishna. Go down a bit. There we are. The messenger carried the words of Lord Krishna to his master Pundraka, who patiently heard all of these insults. Without waiting longer, Sri Krishna immediately started out on his chariot to punish the rascal Pundraka, because at that time, the king of Karusa was living with his friend, the king of Kashi. Krishna surrounded the whole city of Kashi. Now see how quick Krishna takes action against demons. It's very interesting. Prabhupada's explaining, like, you're going to get it. That's what you're going to get it. King Pundraka was a great warrior, and as soon as he heard of Krishna's attack, he came out of the city along with 2 Akshahini divisions of soldiers. The king of Kashi was also a friend of Pundraka, and he came out with 3 Akshahini divisions. When the 2 kings came before Lord Krishna to oppose him, Krishna saw Pundraka face to face for the first time. Krishna saw, now listen to this, that Pundraka had decorated himself with the symbols of the conch shell, disc, lotus, and club. He carried the Sharanga bow, and on his chest was the insignia of Srivatsa. His neck was decorated with a false Kaustuba jewel, fake jewelry. Can you imagine how stupid this guy was? And he wore a flower garland as an exact imitation of Lord Vasudeva. He was dressed in a yellow colored silken garments, and the flag of his chariot carried the symbol of Garuda, exactly imitating Krishna's words. He had a very valuable helmet on his head, and his earrings, his swordfish, glittered brilliantly. On the whole, however, his dress and makeup were clearly imitation. Remind you of some people we know? Fake gurus. Anyway, anyone could understand that he was just like somebody on stage playing the part of Vasudeva in false dress. When Lord Sri Krishna saw Pundraka imitating his posture and dress, he could not check his laughter, and thus he laughed with great satisfaction. Interesting. The soldiers on the side of King Pundraka began to shower their weapons upon Krishna, the weapons including various kinds of tridents, clubs, poles, lances, swords, daggers, and arrows came flying in waves, and Krishna counteracted them. He smashed not only the weapons, but also the soldiers and insistence of Pundraka. Just as during the dissolution of this universe, the fire of devastation burns everything to ashes. The elephants, chariots, horses, and infantry belonging to the opposite side party were scattered by the weapons of Krishna. The whole battlefield became scattered with the bodies of animals and chariots. There were fallen horses, elephants, men, asses, and camels, all. Although the devastated battlefield appeared like the dancing place of Lord Shiva at the time of dissolution of the world, the warriors who were on the side of Krishna were very much encouraged by seeing this, and they fought with greater strength. We'll keep reading a bit more. At this time, Krishna told Pundraka, "You requested me to give up the symbol of Lord Vishnu, specifically my disc. Now I will give it up to you. Be careful. You falsely declare yourself to be Vasudeva, imitating myself. Therefore, no one is a greater fool than you." What about all these fake gurus, Yashoda? Fools. From this statement of Krishna, it is clear that any rascal who advertises himself as God or a pure devotee, I'm going to insert that, is the greatest fool in human society. Yes, he is. Pretending to be Lord Chaitanya. Yeah, sure. Krishna continued, "Now, Pundaraka, I shall force you to give up this false representation." He's going to force him. "You wanted me to surrender unto you. Now this is your opportunity. We shall now fight. And if I am defeated and you become victorious, I shall certainly surrender unto you." In this way, after chastising Pundraka very severely, he smashed his chariot into pieces by shooting an arrow. With the help of his disc, he separated the head of Pundraka from his body very severely. He smashed his chariot to pieces by shooting an arrow. With the help of his disc, he separated the head of Pundraka from his body, just as Indra shaves off the peaks of mountains by striking them with his thunderbolt. Similarly, he also killed the king of Kashi with his arrows. Lord Krishna specifically arranged to throw the head of King Kasi into the city of Kasi itself, so that his relatives and family members could see it. This was done by Krishna, just as a hurricane carries a lotus petal here and there. Lord Krishna killed Pundraka and his friend Kasiraj on the battlefield, and then he returned to his capital city, Dwarka. Okay, we'll end with that. Just see. there's a factor called time that we have to understand. Now, time moves very quickly. Now, someone would say, well, how come these fake gurus have not been chastised? Like Krishna just took a platform of severe chastisement for these fake imitation gods. It's eternal time. Everything is revealed in time. And we are here simply to take shelter of Krishna in his original form and take shelter of Srila Prabhupada in his Vani incarnation. And we're going to march forward with our next section. Think about this, everybody. We're going to move forward with our next section, which is a Prabhupada lecture. Well, let's go for that. Ram Raghava, please.
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam.
Krishna, when he was present on this planet, he practically demonstrated that he controlled everyone, but nobody controlled him. That is called Parameshwara. Ishvara everyone, maybe. God everyone, maybe. But Godhead is Krishna. Nitya Nityanam Chetana Chetana. So we should understand it very nicely, and it is not very difficult. The same controller is coming before us as one of us, as human being. But we are not accepting it. That is the difficulty. Avajananti mangamura manasing tanuas. That is very regretful. Krishna says that I am coming to exhibit who is the supreme controller, and I am praying as human being so that everyone can understand. I am giving instruction in the Bhagavad Gita. Still, these fools, the rascals, they cannot understand. So, God is there. We can give the God's name, Krishna, God's address also, Vrindavan, God's father's name, mother's name. So where is the difficulty to find out God? But they will not accept. They will not accept. Mura, they have been described as Mura. So this morning, this press reporters asking me, what is the purpose of your movement? I said, to educate the Mura. That's all. This is the sum and substance of this Krishna consciousness movement, that we are trying to educate the Mura. And who is Mura? That is described by Krishna. Namāga duskritina mūঢ়ā pravaddanti narākava. Why? Maya pritaggyana. Why Maya has taken away his knowledge? Asuri bhavamāsu. We have got very simple test like a chemist in the small test tube can analyze what is the liquid. So, we are not very intelligent. We are also one of so many muras. But we have got the test tube. Krishna says, we like to remain mura and take education from Krishna. This is Krishna consciousness. We do not pose ourselves as very learned scholar and very wise scholar. We know everything. No. We are Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He also tried to remain a mura. when he talked with Prakashananda Saraswati, he was Mayavadi sannyasi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing and chanting. So these Mayavadi sannyasis were criticizing him that he is a sannyasi and is simply chanting and dancing with some sentimental persons. What is this? So a meeting was arranged between Prakashananda Saraswati and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In that meeting, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu attended as a humble sannyasi. So Prakashananda Saraswati questioned him, said, "You are a sannyasi, your duty is to study Vedanta always. How is that you are chanting and dancing? You are not reading Vedanta." Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Yes, sir, that's a fact. I am doing because my Guru Maharaj saw me a mudha, rascal." How is that? He said, "Guru Mari Murkha Dekhi Korila Sasam." My Guru Maharaj saw me a fool number one and is chastising. How he has chastised you? You have no jurisdiction for studying Vedanta. It is not possible for you. You are a mura. You better chant. So what is this purpose? The purpose is, at the present moment, these muras, how they will understand Vedanta. Better chant Hare Krishna. Then you will get all knowledge. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama iva kevalam, kalau nasdiva nasdiva nasdiva, gadirannana. In this age, people are so fallen. Now what they will understand Vedanta and who has got the time to read Vedanta? So, better take the education of Vedanta, direct. As Krishna says, Vedaischa sarvai ahamaiva vedam. So, Vedanta knowledge is our sabdadana vritti. By chanting the Sabda Brahma, one can be liberated. So this is recommended in the Shastras. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama iva kevalam, kalau nasiva 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 gasidannata. So if one is actually interested how to become liberated from this material bondage, janma mrityu jara vyadhi, these are the problems, then according to Shastra, according to Mahajan, one must take to this chanting of Hare Krishna Maha. This is our, purpose.
And I was discussing this with Yashodanandana Prabhu earlier today. This is our purpose, because in the different yugas, Satya Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, Kali Yuga, there are different methods for spiritual realization. And in the Kali Yuga, it's very difficult. It's not set up for people to go study in the mountains and live in seclusion like that. We all know how we're existing. So the method is the chanting of Hare Krishna, 16 rounds a day, Prabhupada's instruction. Hear the philosophy by reading the books. And coming to our classes 3 times a week. I'm just saying that. We're using the internet as the vehicle to enable others to learn this philosophy without any personal motivation. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and the Sankirtan movement. We're going to move forward with our next section, which is the chanting of Jaya Radha Madhava. So please chant along with Srila Prabhupada, and after that, we're going to have our reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, the unedited versions, authorized by Srila Prabhupada with His grace, Yashodanandana Prabhu. All glories to the Sankirtan movement and the Prabhupada Disciples Association. Hare Krishna.
Sai. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Nandana. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Nandana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha समाज भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद से अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री राधा कृष्ण गौ गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, नवद्वीप धाम की जय, स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय, गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Narayanam namaskritya, Narayanam namaskritya, Naram chaiva narottamam, Naram chaiva narottamam, Devim saraswatim vyasam, Devim saraswatim vyasam, Tato jayam mudirayat, Tato jayam mudirayat. One should utter the means of conquest, Srimad Bhagavatam and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, after offering respectful obeisances, 1, to the personality of Godhead Narayana, 2, to the Naranarayana Rishi, who is the supermost human being, 3, to the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, then 4, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author, from Srimad Bhagavatam 1-4. Thanks, everybody, for participating in this reading and discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. This particular reading is conducted from the non-adulterated, non-changed version, the 1975 original version of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and all synonyms, purports, and translations are from His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, also known as the Krishna Consciousness Movement. As we do every week, we will be reading a few selected verses from the Adi Lila chapter 1, which explains the meaning and the benefit of hearing this powerful, illuminating, transcendental literature. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Glory to Sri Chaitanya and Nityananda. Glory to Advaita Chandra. And glory to all the devotees of Sri Gaura, Lord Chaitanya. Etina Thakur Gaudiya Ki Karye Chenayatma Sat. Etinera Charana Vandan Tire Morenat. These treaties of Vrindavan, Madan Mohan, Govinda, and Gopinath have absorbed the heart and soul of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, followers of Lord Chaitanya. I worship their lotus feet, for they are the lords of my heart. Granteraram-bikari Mangala Charana, Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinera Smarana. In the beginning of this narration, simply by remembering the spiritual master, the devotees of the Lord, and the personality of Godhead, I have invoked their benedictions. Tinera smarane ai vigna vinashana, anayase ai nijavanchita purana. Such remembrance destroys all difficulties and very easily enables one to fulfill his own desires. Simangala charanoi trivida prakar vastu nirdesha shirvada namaskara. The invocation involved 3 processes defining the objective, offering benedictions and offering obeisances. Let us proceed to the specific verses for today. We are reading from Adi Lila, chapter 6, text number 34. Screen broadcast. Okay, what do we have here? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Text number 34, chapter 6. Janhar tulasi jale janhar humkare, svagana sahite chaitanyara avatare. Yanhar, whose? Tulasi jale, by tulasi leaves and Ganges water. Yanhara, of whom? Humkare, by the loud voice. Svagana, his personal associates. Sahite, accompanied by Chaitanyara, of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Avatare, in the incarnation. Translation. He worshipped Krishna with tulsi leaves and water of the Ganges and called for him in a loud voice. Thus, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared on earth accompanied by his personal associates. Text 35. Janharadvar Kaila Prabhu Kirtan Prachar, Janharadvar Kaila Prabhu Jagatanistar, Yanradvara, by whom? Kaila did. Prabhu, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kirtana Prachar, spreading of the Sankirtan movement. Yanhadvara, by whom? Kaila did. Prabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jagat Nistar, deliverance of the entire world. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. It is through him, Advaita Acharya, that Lord Chaitanya spread the Sankirtan movement, and through him that he delivered the world. Acharya, text 36. Acharya Gosai Guna Mahima Yapar, Jiva Kita Kotai Pebika Tarapar, Acharya Gosai, of Advaita Acharya, Guna Mahima, the glory of the attributes, Apara, unfathomable, Jivakita, a living being who is just like a worm, Kotaya, where? Pebeka, will get, Tara, of that, Para, the other side. Translation. The glory and attributes of Advaita Acharya are unlimited. How can the insignificant living entities fathom them? Text 37. Acharya Gosai Chaitanya Mukhya Anga, Arika Anga Tandra Prabhu Nityananda, Acharya Gosai, Advaita Acharya, Chaitanyera, of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mukhya, primary, Anga, part, Ara, another, Eka, one, Anga, part, Tandra, of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prabhu Nityananda, Lord Nityananda. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Sri Advaita Acharya is a principal limb of Lord Chaitanya. Another limb of the Lord is Nityananda Prabhu. Text 38. Prabhu Rupanga Srivasadi Bhaktagan, Astamukha Netra Anga Chakradi Astrasam, Prabhu Rupanga, Lord Chaitanya's smaller parts, Srivasadi, headed by Srivas, Bhaktagan, the devotees, Hasta, hands, Mukha, face, Netra, eyes, Anga, parts of the body, Chakra Adi, the disc, Astra, weapons, Sama, like. Translation. The devotees headed by Srivas are his smaller limbs. They are like his hands, face, eyes, and his disc, and other weapons. Text 39. Isabloya Chaitanya Prabhur Vihar. Isabalaya Karena Vanchita Prachar. Isaba, all these. Laya, taking. Chaitanya Prabhura, of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vihar, pastimes. Whoops, hold on. Lost the page. Pastimes. Isaba, all of them. Laya, taking. Karena, does. Vanchita Prachar, spreading his mission. Translation. With all of them, Lord Chaitanya performed his pastimes, and with them he spread his mission. Text 40. Madhavendra Puri Rino Shishya Yajnane Acharya Goshanire Prabhu Guru Karimane Madhavendra Purira of Madhavendra Puri in Ha Advaita Acharya Shishya disciple Ignane by this consideration Acharya Goshanire unto Advaita Acharya Prabhu Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Guru, spiritual master, Kari, taking as, Mane, obeys him. Translation. Thinking he, Sri Advaita Acharya, is a disciple of Sri Madhavendra Puri, Lord Chaitanya obeys him, respecting him as his spiritual master. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sri Madhavendra Puri is one of the acharyas in the disciplic succession from Madhvacharya. Madhavendra Puri had two principal disciples, Ishwara Puri and Sri Advaita Prabhu. Therefore, the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya is a disciplic succession from Madhvacharya. This fact has been accepted in the authorized books known as Gaura Ganodesha Dipika and Prameya Ratnavali, as well as by Gopala Guru Goswami. The Gaura Ganodesha Dipika clearly states the disciplic succession of the Gaudiya Vaishnava as follows. Quote, Lord Brahma is the direct disciple of Vishnu, the Lord of the spiritual sky. His disciple is Narada. Narada's disciple is Vyasa, and Vyasa's disciples are Shukadev Goswami and Madhvacharya. Padmanabha Acharya is the disciple of Madhvacharya, and Narahari is the disciple of Padmanabha Acharya. Madhava is the disciple of Narahari. Akshobhya is the direct disciple of Madhava, and Jayatirtha is the disciple of Akshobhya. Jayatirtha's disciple is Jnanasindhu, and his disciple is Mahanidhi. Vidyanidhi is the disciple of Mahanidhi, and Rajendra is the disciple of Vidyanidhi. Jayadharma is the disciple of Rajendra. Purushottama is the disciple of Jayadharma. Sriman Lakshmipati is the disciple of Vyasatirtha, who is the disciple of Purushottama. And Madhavendra Puri is the disciple of Lakshmipati. Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakayam Chakshuran Meritam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namaham Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhakti Vedanta Namine Prasannaya Prashantaya Tasmai Gurave Namaham Bhagavad Vandana Kadyam Guru Vandana Purvakam Kshiram Sharkara Yuktam Kadate Visheshataham Adadana Strinam Danteridam Yache Punah Punah Srimadru Papadam Bhoja Dhulishyam Janma Janmani Amsho bhagavatosmyaham sadadaso asmi sarvata tat kripa pikshako nityam tat preshta sadkaromi svam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. In the last 125 or 140 years, there have been various scholars, Bengali scholars, Sanskrit scholars, who've tried to discredit the bona fide disciplic succession coming from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the connection with the Madhva Sampradaya. It's unfortunate that these scholars, although they may have some grammatical academic qualifications, because they do not come in the line of bona fide disciplic succession following the great acharyas, they misunderstand the connection. Prabhupada has nicely explained in this last purport how Advaita Acharya and Ishvara Puri were both disciples of Madhavendra Puri, who received his initiation from one sannyasi in the line of Madhvacharya named Lakshmi Pati Tirtha. Now, thank you, Ram Raghava. It's explained in the purport. What Prabhupada is quoting here is from the Gaur Ganodesh Tipika, which was written by Kavi Karnapur, one of the great acharyas in the Gaudiya Sampradaya. He's explaining the connection. Now, some people have tried to find fault that the disciplic succession of Madhvacharya, all their sannyasis, they take the name Tirtha, whereas Madhavendra Puri had the title Puri. Well, it was very common in these days that people took sannyas, or sometimes called take ashram, from various sannyasis who also came from different lines of disciplic succession. Some of them were even impersonalists. Keshav Bharati also was a devotee. He gave sannyas to Lord Chaitanya, but Lord Chaitanya did not adopt the title Bharati. So there's a lot of technical explanation given by our acharyas. The point being that both these acharyas, namely Kavi Karnapur and Baladev Vidyabhushana, have validated the connection of the Gaudiya Sampradaya with the Madhva Sampradaya. Now, there are some slight differences, technical differences, between the Madhva Sampradaya and the Gaudiya Sampradaya, especially with the position of Lord Krishna, whom our Gaudiya Acharyas have considered the original personality of Godhead, specifically Jiva Goswami in his Krishna Sandarbha, explaining that based on the verse Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3, that this particular verse establishes the supremacy of Krishna as the origin of all other expansions of Godhead. Both the Madhvas and the followers of the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, followers of Ramanuja, have different opinions. When we went to South India first in 1972 in Bangalore, we ended up going to Udupi. And we had conversation at that point with the Swami from the Admaru Mat on this topic. And he explained to us that the Madhvas do not accept this explanation. And then what we explained to him said, well, Jiva Goswami of the Gaudiya Sampradaya has explained that we follow the teachings of the Bhagavatam, that Krishna is regarded as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, Jiva Goswami has written an entire book, Krishna Sandarbha, discussing this particular point and analyzing all of the objections of various parties to the position of Krishna. When we came back from South India and saw Srila Prabhupada in late 1972, Prabhupada explained the best thing to do is to explain to them that according to our Gaudiya Acharya, specifically like in this purport, Kavi Karnapur and Baladev Vidyabhushana, we accept the conclusion that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it is pretty simple. If somebody wants to study all the Sanskrit quotes given by Jiva Goswami, they can do that. Prabhupada has given a lot of these quotes in his Srimad Bhagavatam purports, particularly from the Brahma Samhita. Ramadi Murtishu Kalaniyamena Tishtan Nana Avatar Amakarad Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhavat Paramahpumanyo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So there's many different texts from both from the Brahma Samhita, from the Bhagavad Gita, from Srimad Bhagavatam, and numerous other scriptures which ascertain the position of Krishna. It's interesting to note that both Jiva Goswami and Sanatan Goswami have quoted that same verse from the Brahma Samhita, Ramadi Murtishu Kalaniyamenatishtan, to establish Krishna's position. Prabhupada explained to us in the Brahma Samhita, there's a verse, Diparchi Revahi Desantorme Bapati, that both the Vishnu Tattva, the form of Lord Vishnu Narayan, and Krishna are the same. It is just like if you have a candle and you light up another candle, both candles have the same light, except that one candle is considered the original candle and the other candle is the subsequent candle. So that is one explanation that has been given by the various acharyas in our sampradaya. Now here's the actual verse. Let's read the actual translation. This is translation from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. The light of one candle being communicated to other candles, although it burns separately in them, is the same in its quality. I adore the primal Lord Govinda, who exhibits himself equally in the same mobile manner in his various manifestations. In the purport it is explained, the presiding deities of Haridham, Hari, Narayana, Vishnu, etc., the subjective portions of Krishna are being described. The majestic manifestation of Krishna is Narayana, Lord of Vaikuntha, whose subjective portion is Karano Dakshayi Vishnu, the prime cause, whose portion is Garbho Dakashayi. Kshirodakashayi is again the subjective portion of Garbho Dakashayi Vishnu. The word Vishnu indicates all-pervading, omnipresent, and omniscient personality. In this shloka, the activities of the subjective portions of the divinity are enunciated by the specification of the nature of Kshirodakshayi Vishnu. The personality of Vishnu, the embodied form of the manifestative quality, Sattva Guna, is quite distinct from that of Shambhu, who is, please move it up, who is adulterated with mundane qualities. Vishnu's subjective personality is on a level with that of Govinda. Both consist of the unadulterated substantive principle. Okay, where are we here? Substantive principle, where are we there? Vishnu in the form of the manifest causal principle is identical with Govinda as regards quality. The manifestative quality, Sattva Guna, that is found to exist in the triple mundane quality is an adulterated entity being alloyed with the qualities of mundane activity and inertia. Brahma is the dislocated portion of the divinity manifested in the principle of mundane action, endowed with the functional nature of his subjective portion, and Shambhu is the dislocated portion of the divinity manifested in the principle of mundane inertia, possessing similarly the functional nature of his subjective portion. The reason for their being dislocated portions is that the two principles of mundane action and inertia, being altogether wanting in the spiritual essence, any entities that are manifested in them are located at a great distance from the divinity himself or his facsimiles. So this is pretty fancy and technical English, but a very good explanation from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. I wanted to address some points that have been made by some devotees, which are made some comments about my lowly self, because I used to be a sannyasi and I'm no longer a sannyasi, that I'm now a vantasi or a vomit eater. I thank these devotees very much to remind my lowly self of my lowly nature. As a matter of fact, I would say my position is very nicely described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita in a Sanskrit verse, Matulyo Nasti Papatma, which is a verse that was given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami when they first met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Matulyo Nasti Papatma. That is my position. As far as the position of such critics, we just offer our respectful obeisances to them. We wish them well. And we say simply to them, Yosi Sosti Namostute. We offer our respects to you. You are whatever you are, and we offer our respects to you. Now, back to the topic at hand. Advaitacharya's position is very, very special, because according to Krishnadas Kaviraj, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to this world on account of the prayers and very eager praise of the Supreme Lord on the bank of the Ganges when he was worshiping the Shaligram with Tulsi and Ganges water, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came down on account of those prayers of Advaita Acharya. Back to you in the studio. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Very much for leading us this evening on a very intricate, detailed explanation of this philosophy, and especially regarding disciplic succession. And it is very interesting to note that Krishna consciousness is a science of truth. Scio, the Latin word scio, means to know. So this journey of knowledge that we're under, the direction of our spiritual master, is very extensive, and it may be difficult, as Krishna Katha mentioned in his notes, heavy duty. Well, it is. And somehow or other, just hearing the philosophy will purify us. Understanding it, that takes time. And Prabhupada would always, I just was reading Ram Raghava, that in this pastime of Pundraka, at the end, it says, the narration and devastation of Varanasi by Krishna's disc weapon and Sudarshan chakra is transcendental and auspicious. Anyone who narrates this story, or anyone who hears this story with faith and attention, will be released from all reaction to sinful activities. That's at the end. Look at this. This narration of the devastation of Varanasi by Krishna's disc weapon and the Sudarshan chakra is transcendental and auspicious. Anyone who narrates the story, or anyone who hears the story with faith and attention, will be released from all reaction to sinful activities. Is that a good bargain, Rupa Goswami? Is it? Yes, it is. We simply have to have faith in the words of Srila Prabhupada, released from all reaction to sinful activities. This is the assurance of Shukla Goswami, who narrated this story to Parikshit Maharaj. Now, I have to add something here, Rochisha Devi Dasi. What did I do after I read that? I thought, did I really get this story? And I thought, I'll read it again. So I went back and started reading it again. Because I thought, gee, if I read it twice, I'll get twice the blessing. This is faith in the spiritual master, the science of spiritual knowledge coming from pure devotee. That is the essence of learning Krishna consciousness. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshanaha. We approach the spiritual master and we hear from him submissively and we offer service to him, the self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. It'll be revealed if you have implicit faith in this process. That's why we encourage all of you, please come to the classes every week. It'll keep you fixed. That's what we used to call it in the early days, Michael Dillon. Get fixed up. You want to be fixed up. Well, you have to follow the process in order to become fixed. And that is by regular attendance. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavati Uttamoshloki, Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly, Nasta Prayeshu Abradeshu, constantly hearing this message, it'll gradually sink through Krishna Katha, these thick skulls of ours. Prabhupada would say that always, even when the kids would be invited to the classes, even though they couldn't understand the philosophy, just to hear the sound vibration will purify them. And I was thinking, Yashodanandana, before we move to our next section, that you do all these extensive verses in our chants. And someone once criticized us. He said, well, I prefer you don't do these verses. Why don't you just talk? Well, the point is, these mantras, if you're reading them, I'm reading along in the classes, reading the translations, there's so much depth in these verses. This will enlighten us on the process of how to become Krishna conscious. Because Prabhupada explains in this lecture that I'm listening to, that these shruta, these specific mantras, give us insight into spiritual life. And just by reading them and hearing them, we will make advancement in Krishna consciousness. We have to have faith in that. We may not understand the reading today, Krishna Gatha. Like I can say, it was over my head, but I thought, I'm going to listen. I'm going to try to understand it. And if you can't understand it, go back and read it again. And if you have any questions, you can always call us. I sometimes tell our friends, because they ask me difficult questions, and I might not know. I said, but I have a friend, my godbrother. He'll probably have the answer. So we'll ask him. That's our chief editor, Yashodanandana Prabhu. He is our chief editor. And we're going to go to this next section of the program. Oh, thank you, Shrestha Rupa. Look at all these hands up in the air and clapping and blah, blah, blah. It's all fun, eh? Michael Dillon, too. Thank you. We're going to go forward with our next section, which is Bona Fide Spiritual Master. And this section is called Our Living Guru, and Prabhupada lives with us in sound. Yashodanandana Prabhu, please.
We are reading from Our Living Guru. We are reading, let me see here, adjust the screen here. Hold on for a second. We are reading from section 4.7. Question, at what point does the fallen guru fail? Srila Prabhupada answer, as soon as he thinks he's the guru. Quote, if one follows the orders of his spiritual master, there is no question of falling down. As soon as a foolish disciple tries to overtake his spiritual master and becomes anxious to occupy his post, he immediately falls down. From Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 12, Text 14. Amazingly, sometimes sentimental devotees will demand photographic evidence that the ersatz guru has fallen to gross sense gratification before he can be rejected. Here, Prabhupada says that simply by his unauthorized desire to be recognized as a guru, the neophyte has already fallen. More amazingly, even after these foolish guru disciples fall into an abominable state, the GBC leaders and sentimental neophytes insist that these earth-sass gurus should retain a sort of ongoing exalted recognition. They were gurus. Even more amazing is the explanation given by some GBC and overzealous sentimental followers that such fall down in sexual activities is a spiritual pastime or lila on the part of the living guru. Of course, such emotional sentiment has no basis in scripture or historical facts. Rather, this is the basis for dangerous fanaticism. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say, if one thinks he's a guru, he is a goru, a cow. Section 4.6. Why can't the living gurus understand that a pure devotee is always protected by the Lord? Answer. As Srila Prabhupada observed in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 8, Text 12, quote, Hiranyakashipu, a famous demon, did not know that Prahlad Maharaj was the most fortunate person within the three worlds because Prahlad was protected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such are the misunderstandings of demons. They do not know that a devotee is protected in all circumstances. Kantiya pratijanihi nami bhakta pranasyati. So the living guru is misunderstanding that a guru, or indeed even a sincere neophyte, might be lost to misunderstanding that a guru, or indeed even a sincere neophyte, might be lost to illusion due to sincere preaching effort is demoniac. It proves that the living gurus and their advocates have succumbed to material illusion themselves. Not only is the pure devotee protected from falling down, so is anyone who sincerely takes shelter of that devotee. Quote, if one is under the protection of a devotee and sincerely renders service to him, by this process of bhakti yoga, one is certainly able to counteract all sinful reactions. From Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 9, Text 8. Thus, Srila Prabhupada opposes another foundational pillar of the Living Guru project, that preaching puts one at risk spiritually. One may incur physical risk, fools may attack, but that is another thing. Back to you in the studio. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, one who claims to be a guru is a guru. Very interesting quote. It's interesting. The further interest is that you're not guru, you're a cow. You're not a spiritual master, you're a cow. But it's interesting to note, everyone, that you can read the Bhagavad Gita 1,000 times. Will you see anywhere in Prabhupada's verses and purports that he ever said he was the guru? Ever? Never. That was a phenomena that we all experienced in the early years, that despite Prabhupada's exalted position, he never put himself in that position. But he insisted that he was founder acharya of the movement. And acharya means one who teaches by example. He didn't teach by precept. He taught by example. And that is the responsibility of every member of PDA HKS. You teach by example. You don't teach by precept. Do this, do this, this. No, you practice it. And then we'll have a group of potent devotees. Yes. Potency comes through practice. Purity is the force. Prabhupada used that expression to describe his disciples. Purity is the force. And in this way, we will expand this movement through force. And teamwork is the secret behind pleasing Srila Prabhupada. Yes, you'll demonstrate your love by your ability to work together and cooperate to serve the mission of Lord Chaitanya. And we have all kinds of services, and we're asking people to come forward and donate their time, their effort, their money in the service of the Sankirtan mission of Lord Chaitanya. And one thing we should note before we move to the next section, Prabhu, is that one of our members, Arjuna Das, who's listening on YouTube, called me the other day and told me he tried to order some books, Bhagavatams and Chaitanya Charitamritas, from the Krishna store, and they're not in print. And then they sent them back a message to him that there is no intention of printing them in the future. Think about that. They've got hundreds of millions of dollars in the ISKCON group, and they're not planning to reprint and publish Prabhupada's original books, but squander it in new vehicles, big apartments, all kinds of fancy prasadam, but no knowledge of the absolute truth that's present in Srila Prabhupada's amazing books. And Bhaktisiddhanta said, better to sell all the temples, sell all the buildings, keep the printing presses, and continue to promote the absolute truth through transcendental literature. And we're doing that with our group. What's the next section of the program, Prabhu? Another lecture?
Yes, Prabhu, another Srila Prabhupada lecture. If for 50 years one simply chants Hare Krishna, then one will become perfect.
Okay, let's roll that. Haribo.
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam.
Is it possible to find some naked in this life? Is it possible that one falls down?
It is possible in 1 second, provided you are serious. It's not difficult. Krishna bhakti kavanam janmanamante jnanavan prapaddate. After many births, one is intelligent, wise, fully grown, wise. He surrenders unto me, Krishna says. So if I am intelligent, then I see that if that is the goal of life, that after many births, one has to surrender to Krishna, why not myself surrender immediately? This is intelligence. If this is a fact, that one has to come to this point, after cultivating knowledge for many births, then why not accept it immediately? Why shall I wait for many births, if this is a fact? So that requires little intelligence. It does not require many births. It requires little intelligence. Take to this Krishna consciousness seriously, your problems are solved. Now, if you don't believe in it, then come to argument, come to philosophy, come to reason, go on arguing. There are volumes of books. You convince. You can learn it. Every answer is there in the Bhagavad Gita. You can try to understand it with your reason, with your argument. It is open. Just like Arjuna. Arjuna was taught Bhagavad Gita how much time? At most within half an hour. Because he is very intelligent. This Bhagavad Gita, the people of the world are reading, very learned scholar, wise men, they are reading, they are trying to understand, giving different interpretation. But there are thousands of edition, commentary. But Arjuna was intelligent, he understood it within half an hour. So it requires on the relative intelligence. Everything, this world is relative, law of relativity, that is scientific. Professor Einstein's theory, law of relativity. So it is relatively. One can become immediately Krishna conscious within a second, and one cannot become Krishna conscious after many, many births. So it is relative. If you have got sufficient intelligence, you can accept it immediately. If there is less intelligence, then it will take time. You cannot say that it will be possible after so many years. That cannot be said. It is relative. Everything is relative. For a human being, from here to here, one step, and for a small microbe, it is 10 miles. From here to here, 10 miles, foreign. So everything is relative. This world is relative world. There is no such formula that one can be Krishna conscious after so many years. No, there is no such formula. One cannot become Krishna conscious even millions after birth, and one can become within seconds Krishna conscious. But on the average, within this life we can become perfect in Krishna consciousness if we take it seriously. Especially while our young boys, we expect at least we live for 50 years more. Oh, that is sufficient time. Sufficient, more than sufficient. More than sufficient. If for 50 years one chants simply Hare Krishna, he is sure to become perfect. There is no doubt about it. Simply if he chants this mantra, Hare Krishna, oh, there is no doubt about it.
It takes intelligence, Prabhupada said. It takes intelligence. And then he further explains, well, if you can't accept, you can come and you can read and you can discuss. But it may take millions of births for you to accept. But if you have intelligence, you accept. Then it can be within a second. So it's up to you. It's up to us to decide when we are going to surrender, when we hear this philosophy and take it up without any hesitation, attachment, confusion, mental speculation. It's up to us. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. That was Hey Krishna Katha, was that probably the most enlightening piece of information that we've ever heard. That even within 1 second, with your use of intelligence, you can leave this material world and go back home, back to Godhead. That simple. And we're going to go ahead with our next section, Ram Raghava. Any comments from you?
No, Prabhu, I don't see any questions today. There's 7 people watching on YouTube, but no questions.
Oh, that's all right. We'll have some questions on Saturday. We're going to go ahead with our recitation of the 10 offenses. Yes, and then after we'll do the japa class and have some more nectar as we move forward in eternal time with the Hare Krishna Society and the Prabhupada Disciples Association weekly sadhana programs. Haribol.
Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 8, Offenses to be Avoided. The offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. First, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Second, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Sometimes the atheistic class of men take it that any demigod is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. But one who is a devotee knows that no demigod, however great he may be, is independently as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, if someone thinks that he can chant Kali, Kali or Durga, Durga, and it is the same as Hare Krishna, that is the greatest offense. Third, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Fourth, to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. Fifth, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. Sixth, to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. Seventh, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. Because by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can be freed from all kinds of sinful reactions. It should not be taken that one may continue to act sinfully and after that chant Hare Krishna to neutralize his sins. Such a dangerous mentality is very offensive and should be avoided. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities. Karma Kanda. 9th, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Anyone can take part in chanting the holy name of the Lord, but in the beginning one should not be instructed about the transcendental potency of the Lord. Those who are too sinful cannot appreciate the transcendental glories of the Lord, and therefore it is better not to instruct them in this matter. 10th, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names, and to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success.
We're going to take 2 questions. That's it. Rochisha Devi Dasi and Shakshi. Can you read them for Yashodanandana, please, Ram Raghava? From Rochisha, what's her question? You see it?
The first question from Mother Ruchisha Devidasi is, I had a question. How long that Advaita Acharya pray for the coming of Lord Chaitanya?
Well, I don't know exactly how long, but we do know that he did this in Shantipur on the bank of the Ganges, worshiping the Shaligram and worshiping with Tulsi leaves, and on account of these prayers. I could research the issue or look in various statements of Srila Prabhupada and see whether or not there's any length of time. The point being, it's not necessarily how long, but how intense his prayers were that brought the advent of Lord Chaitanya. That is the point. Then there is another question here. Prabhuji has a doubt regarding the morning schedule. How was the morning schedule in temples during Prabhupada's physical presence? Is there anything which they have introduced now? Vibhabhari Sesha and prayers were sung at that time? Question. No, it was not. That was introduced by an advisor from the Neo-Mat in Mathura. Prabhupada did not introduce this bhajan at that particular time. Now, their explanation is that they chant the samsara prayers at Prabhupada's samadhi in the morning, therefore they can't chant it again. Why not? Prabhupada introduced the samsara prayers in front of the deities during Mangalartik in Vrindavan. Who authorized this change? There's nothing wrong with chanting it twice. Why they have changed it? This is not the proper behavior of a disciple to go take advice beyond Srila Prabhupada to introduce something which he did not do. The morning schedule was basically pretty simple. There was Mangal Artik, then there would be obeisances, the Narasimhadev prayer, then there would be reciting of the 10 offenses, the Tulsi worship, the worshiping Tulsi Devi. Then we would chant japa in the temple. Later on, there was the Guru Puja, Sri Guru Charana Padma, Bhagavatam class, opening the deities. Then there would be taking prasadam. So the program was established by Srila Prabhupada. Now, it's not the position of any devotee in that society to change the system that Prabhupada established. This is not respectful to his divine grace to change the chanting of the Samsara prayer in front of Krishna Balaram and Gaur Nitai. This is not proper. We know this was introduced by an advisor. We call him the Mathura advisor from the Neo-Mat over there, but this is not appropriate. This was not done by Srila Prabhupada and should not be followed. I like the comment from Krishna Kataprabhu who says the change disease. I just want to make a statement. When I was in Oroville, north of Sacramento, several months back, I had the good fortune of chanting japa with Bhakta Ron Singh. And I was, although Ron has been a devotee for quite some time, his japa was very exemplary. I could hear every single word of the Maha Mantra, completely focused, very clear, very dedicated, and I was very, very enlivened with my visit there, what to speak of the beautiful prasadam that he cooked. And Bhakta Ron is doing very valuable service by shipping the Bhagavatam to various persons who contact him, and he makes all the arrangements. So we just want to offer our respects and give him proper recognition for his very valuable service. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Dr. Ron Singh, he's our logistics man, and he jumps to it every time we get an order. And we try to facilitate those people that are interested in acquiring these treasures from Srila Prabhupada in the reprint that we did with the Hare Krishna Society, Prabhupada Disciples Association, and all of us can celebrate this opportunity to serve the mission through the distribution of these books. So on we go. We're going to move to our next session, which is the japa class, one round of japa together as a group, and then we'll roll the other sections accordingly. Haribo.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Rama Rama
Hare
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare.
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Rama
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram, Hare
Rama
Ram, Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Rama Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare Hare,
Rama
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Rama
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Hare
Rama
Hare.
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
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 Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Hare
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 Rama
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Rama
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
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 Hare.
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama Hare
Hare,
Hare
Rama Rama
Hare
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Rama Rama
Hare
Rama
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Rama
Hare
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 Rama
Ram,
Rama
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Rama
Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Ram, Ram
Ram.
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare.
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Rama
Krishna
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare.
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Rama
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Rama Rama
Hare.
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare
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 Hare,
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare
Ram,
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare,
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
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 Rama
Hare.
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Ram,
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 Hare
Hare Hare,
Ram,
Krishna Hare
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 Krishna
Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Krishna,
Rama Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Ram,
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare.
Ram Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Rama
Hare
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 Ram,
Rama
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
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 Hare.
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama Rama
Hare.
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare, Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare.
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare,
Ram, Ram,
Hare
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 Rama Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Hare, Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram.
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Rama,
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare.
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare
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 Rama,
Ram,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare
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 Ram,
Rama,
Hare
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 Ram,
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Ram,
Rama
Ram, Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare.
Hare.
Rama, Hare
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 Rama,
Krishna,
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare.
Rama,
Hare.
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram, Hare
Hare Hare.
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare.
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Rama
Hare.
Rama,
Hare
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 Hare.
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
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 Rama,
Krishna,
Krishna.
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare.
Hare.
Ram, Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama Rama,
Krishna, Hare
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 Hare.
Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Rama,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare.
Hare.
Rama,
Hare
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 Hare.
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Ram,
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Rama,
Hare Hare.
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
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 Hare.
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
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 Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare.
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama
Krishna,
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama.
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Ram,
Krishna.
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare.
Ram, Hare
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 Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Ram
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare.
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
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 Krishna,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Hare.
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare.
Rama,
Hare,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Hare,
Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare.
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
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 Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama
Ram,
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna.
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Rama Rama,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare
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 Ram,
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Hare.
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna.
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Oh,
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare,
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Rama,
Hare.
Rama
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
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 Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
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 Hare.
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
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 Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare.
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
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 Hare,
Rama,
Hare.
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Ram,
Hare
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 Rama,
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Ram,
Rama
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare,
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna.
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
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 Hare.
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare.
Rama, Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare
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 Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Rama, Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama, Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Rama, Rama
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Rama, Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare. Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama, Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Ram Ram
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
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 Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare.
Rama, Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare.
Hare Rama,
मालूम
Hare
पड़े
Rama,
थोड़ी
Rama
मन को
Rama,
मालूम
Hare
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 Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare.
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare.
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Chant and be happy.
Let us offer our respectful obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnava devotees. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who can fulfill the desires of everyone just like these are trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Thanks everybody for participating in this reading and discussion. We invite you to join us again on Saturday morning for a Bhagavad Gita reading and discussion at 7 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time, corresponding to 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Canada, Eastern USA time. Back to you in the studio. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. We are all Satchitananda, eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. And part of the bliss is attending these programs and participating in the distribution of Prabhupada's Delhi Bhagavatam. So good luck, everyone. We'll see you on Saturday morning for Bhagavad Gita as it is by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Haribol. We're going to carry on with the closing comments. Credits.
I'm listening. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Play that bass, chant in peace, everyone. Don't be shy, chant along, chant along. Hare 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,